Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. There's been a lot of doom and gloom talk about North Korea recently. It's raised a number of serious questions about the safety of the world. But sometimes it's nice to step away from these serious questions and just have a fun little thought experiment. Sometimes you come to some interesting conclusions, and this topic is no exception. You saw the title and you know the drill, so let's hop right into it. It's time to ask the question, what if the Purge was real in North Korea? While this may sound similar to our question of what if the Purge was real, North Korea is a whole different story. While most countries in the West and even the world have rather similar sets of laws, North Korea has an exceedingly strict system that greatly limits the freedom of its citizens. Some of these are particularly silly, like mandatory haircuts, but others are quite serious and result in strong punishments. Being caught with a Bible can lead to imprisonment or even execution. There's a dating police that watches for couples engaging in premarital relations, which is illegal. There's basically no contact with the outside world, no Western music, no pornography, yes that's a serious issue, and definitely no speaking out against the government. There's also essentially no internet, and it's illegal to watch television outside of state propaganda. This causes the people to be woefully ignorant about the world outside of North Korea. But on the bright side, the country is totally free of the Big Bang Theory. Almost makes it sound appealing. These incredibly strict laws suggest that the Purge could look very different in North Korea than other countries. Rather than destroying and killing, you may simply see people surfing the web, watching Breaking Bad, laughing and playing in the park. Heck, maybe everyone would just stay in bed all day having premarital sex. But one incredibly cathartic event for the citizens that many would likely participate in is trashing the supreme leader. I can see it now. An unmarried couple having sex while watching Modern Family and screaming about how much they hate Kim Jong-un. Now that's a sequel. Not only that, but this would be an amazing chance for many of the people to loot and scavenge enough resources to last them. Food is scarce in North Korea, and the communist government gives many of its citizens barely enough to survive. In this case, it would not only be legal, but arguably moral to steal food from government storehouses, and it would probably be pretty widespread. That said, there's a pretty good chance that the government would just take everything back the next day. Absolute power makes it pretty easy to take back what you see as yours. However, as with most countries, there's also a good chance that the Purge would lead to serious violence. In such an oppressed society, there are doubtlessly a number of people who would jump at the opportunity to act out their wildest fantasies, attacking people and destroying cities. North Korea has incredibly strict punishments, often punishing 3 generations of a person's family for a crime. This brutally effective policy would likely cause crime to be highly prevalent and super unpredictable, with some acting out violently simply because they finally could. A number would probably even try to attack the government, but I think it's safe to say that Kim Jong-un would be pretty well hidden during the Purge. There is one important thing that should be noted about this. The concept of the Purge is simply not psychologically sound. People do not have a reservoir of aggression and illegality inside them that they can deplete one night a year. People commit crime for any number of reasons, whether it's due to psychological issues or simply out of necessity. If someone needs to steal to survive, they can't wait for Purge night. This, among many other reasons, makes it super unlikely that this would actually occur. However, as unrealistic as it is in some countries, it's even less likely to be enacted under the current North Korean dictatorship. Just about the only thing keeping Kim Jong-un in power is the vast control the government has on information. This forced ignorance of the people would be removed if suddenly they were allowed to learn about the outside world and see through the lies and propaganda of the government. Granted, many members of the population are aware that they are essentially captives, but if word got around, a rebellion would not be out of the question, and could perhaps be considered likely. Heck, if it happened on Purge night, the rebellion would even be legal. This new information would likely contribute to what is probably the most common outcome of the North Korean Purge: mass emigration. It's currently illegal to leave the country without permission of the state, and despite that fact, thousands of people try to escape every year anyway. If they want to leave when it could lead to their entire family being imprisoned, it's clear that many people would get the hell out of Dodge if it suddenly became legal. While there may be a number of citizens that truly are brainwashed, many would take the opportunity to escape the oppressive regime. And now we return to our question, what if the Purge was real in North Korea? Well, the answer is surprisingly interesting, as a Purge in North Korea would look very different from other countries, even if it is incredibly unlikely to actually happen. While violent crime would certainly be an issue, a number of other things would also likely occur. For one, looting just to get food for survival would be rather common. People would also take advantage of the removal of the stranger laws, informing themselves about the rest of the world, and just having fun. Finally, the Purge would allow the captive citizens of the country to leave without fear of persecution, which would almost certainly lead to vast improvements in their lives. Thank you for watching Life's Biggest Questions. I hope this was interesting and informative, and maybe even inspired you to look into it further on your own. If you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe to the channel down below. While you're down there, let me know what you would do if you were in North Korea during the Purge. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie with Life's Biggest Questions, wishing you the best of luck on your quest for answers.